Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the White Pill Wednesday podcast. Um, Once again, opening up with the fact that I still remain banned on Twitter for God knows what reason. Um, the reason that they've stated is that my account is inauthentic, which I don't understand how that is possible, considering that I don't really even spam the platform all that much. Um, whenever I did used to post links on online posts, it's mostly been in group chats, and I haven't had anyone really tell me otherwise. Most of the group chats I've been a part of have actually been made for people to uh, spread what they're working on. So, I mean, I was doing exactly as what the group chat had demanded for, and didn't receive any negative feedback from anyone. Wasn't told to stop spamming or that it was annoying. Um, so I'm not entirely sure where this is coming from. And I also stream on X. Like I stream. I Every single time I have record an episode like this or an interview, it always streams on X first. And lo and behold, I still got slapped with the inauthentic account ban, which I have no idea how long it's going to last for. Um, any and all updates are being posted in the Discord channel daily, if there is any or anything that I'm working on. The link for which you can find on the bio.link site for me. That's bio.link/whitepill, all one word. Yeah, I added a link to the Discord server, and anyone can join. Uh, the rules are pretty self-explanatory. You know, if you if you're a dick, then you'll get kicked. That's simple as. But in any case, yeah. So moving forward, no idea when this is gonna get lifted, so we'll see. But the White Bill project presses on, and I've actually managed to release 2 interviews while being banned. So I'm just hoping to keep the ball rolling. If anyone's got any suggestions for guests, by all means, send them my way. I would love to have more people on. But let's get into today's episode. So as of late, I've gotten into 3D printing, which is it's fucking a great hobby. It's expensive as shit, but not as much anymore. But it's an interesting hobby because it's one of those things that you don't really hear about a lot in the news. But this is becoming I would say, not just like some kind of hobby that you can have, but an actual format of technology that people are working on that actually works. I mean, I remember there was a case where a company was um, building houses using 3D printing. Like, this is a fairly recent development that has popped up. I think this was in Arizona, I believe. But there was a case where, let me see. Okay, so there's not just one company. Icon is the biggest one. Icon 3D printed homes. Let's see if we can't pull up some examples of that. Stupid dark mode. I gotta disable that. All right. All right. So what do we get if we buy? Whoa! Look at that. Interesting. Okay. It's very artsy with the giant glass walls, which, I mean, if you get hit with the wrong bird or the wrong anything, or just even a rock, I feel like that'd be a problem. But man, these actually look pretty nice. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. So in any case, there's a number of these companies that are operating in the 3D printing space. And for anyone that doesn't know 3D printing, it's essentially where you have a machine that extrudes some kind of filament, whether in this case it's cement. For traditional 3D printers, it's plastics and different types of plastics. There's even mixes of wood that you can get, and I think glass and carbon fiber as well. I don't know to what extent, like, what kind of materials the industrial 3D printers are working with, but just at home, like, you can get I think it's at most 30% blend of wood and plastic. Still mostly plastic, but hey, adds a little bit of wood grain to it. And so yeah, that's the way 3D printing works is you have a design that's essentially built from the ground up. So it starts at the bottom layer, and the machine goes all the way around. And this is all pre-programmed to make sure that everything is level, to make sure that the speed at which the 3D printer operates is matching the flow rate of the actual object, like how fast the nozzle moves for different details. And yeah, it looks like a lot more companies are moving into the 3D market space, 3D building space. I mean, look, at the end of the day, this makes it easier to build homes. Like, what does it say for how long they last? And also, like, depending on what kind of climate, right? I feel like this wouldn't exactly work in a climate where temperatures can dip to -20. Because I feel like since there's no bricks, it's all just a single layer. As the house contracts and expands with the heat and the cold, I feel like that could be a problem. Actually, with that, you know what? Let's find out. I'm not going to be an expert here. Let's find out. Would a 3D printed home be viable to be built in climates like Canada, where cold is a concern? And you know what? Let's use the R1 model for Perplexity. Which, hey, okay, this, for anyone concerned, this model is obviously hosted on Perplexity servers. Data's not going to China. I hope. I hope not. But the R1 model has been great. I've been using it selectively for some of my searches as of late, and highly recommend for anyone that has access to it, play around with it. Like, there's all these memes coming out about asking it about Tiananmen Square and all this shit. Like, yeah, of course, the Chinese aren't going to train their model to know what Tiananmen Square is. But is it useful? Hell yeah, this thing is useful as shit. So yeah, traditional 3D printed concrete may struggle in extreme cold or permafrost due to thermal inefficiency and weight. However, projects like Alberta's Star Lodge uses R35 insulated walls and cavity insulation to meet -40. Oh, interesting. Okay, so there is actually a workaround that's being worked on. Alberta, what is this Star Lodge? 3D printed homes. Okay. 3D printed concrete housing project in the province is slowly taking shape. When was this? 2023. Wow. Okay, so it's been a year. Let's see what the latest update is on this project. I would be very curious to see. What is the latest update for project? Let's see what the houses actually look like. Because if that is the case, I mean, look, that's fundamentally, like, that could help solve the housing problem if we just get these 3D printed homes. I mean, how long does it take to build compared to a regular home? Once again, yeah, we'll find out after this. Oh, it's been completed as of 2024. So the Star Lodge, I'm not going to pretend to know how to pronounce that Indian name. 3D printed housing project in Siksika Nation, Alberta, has been completed as of 2024 and now serves as Canada's largest 3D printed housing development. Here's the latest status. Status? I feel like it's status. 16 transitional housing units. 2.6 million, only $2.6 million for 16 housing units. How many people are going to house? Uh, 16 individuals based on need. Oh, okay, so 16 units for 16 people. Okay. So it resists mold, high winds, and flooding. Critical for the extreme weather of the region. Addresses a severe shortage, which Indigenous Albertans facing homelessness rates 8 times higher than non-Indigenous people. Yes, that is a fucking problem. One thing I have noticed is the further out west you go, especially obviously in the big towns, you're gonna see a lot more homeless native activity. Here on the East Coast, and at least in Toronto, don't really see natives as often. It's mostly just, like, you know, people of all sorts of backgrounds. But yeah, even in Ottawa too. But that is insane. 8 times higher than non-Indigenous people. Wow. Okay. Incredible. Okay, so this whole development apparently only cost, what did it say, 2 million? Let's see, where did it say million? Yeah, $2.6 million. Wow. Okay, what would be the estimated cost between cost comparison of the 3D printed project versus using traditional house building methods? Don't need exact estimate. Make whatever assumptions you have to. Try to calculate total cost and include everything from labor to materials and everything in between. Let's see how good the R1 model is here. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get a comparison for how much this housing project would cost. And the 3D printed cost, we already know, it's about 2.8, I believe it said, for 16 housing. 16. I mean, most homes in Toronto sell for like a million minimum. Like you need a million. I wouldn't be surprised if it's closer to 2 million now. Just to buy the house, right? Like that's not even just to build it. Okay, so here's a cost comparison between 3D printed house. Actually, hold on. Let's stop that. I want to know for this exact model for the Star Lodge 3D printed housing project. For the versus using traditional house building methods for that exact same project. Yeah, I want to know how much it would cost for the exact same thing. That's the other thing with LLMs for anyone that isn't using them in their day-to-day or is having difficulty. You got to be as precise as possible. You gotta treat it as if it knows nothing and you need to absolutely guide it. Just one thing that I've noticed. Let's see. Wow, I love the reasoning that it has. Like it breaks it down sentence by sentence what it needs to figure out. And includes sources along the way. Okay, so for 16 transitional housing units, for traditional construction costs. Huh. Okay. I mean, we just asked like AI. In terms of cost, it seems to be the same, at least according to this model and the way that we phrased it. But it is 50 to 70% faster than traditional home building. And standard rate, it takes anywhere between 6 to 12 months. So you've cut that in half, made it to 3 to 6 months, and there's also 20 to 30% less waste. I mean, that's pretty fucking incredible. And I see what they mean about the heated tents. Yeah, you would actually have to build this obviously in an enclosed space. You can't just have the concrete exposed to the elements. Wow. Interesting. My concern is then what happens when you need to make additional changes to the home? How much more difficult is it to retrofit certain things for a 3D printed house versus a regular house? Like, would you have to install different support beams if you want to take a wall out? How would that look? I'm interested in that. But in any case, this is incredible. This is amazing. I mean, this could help us solve the housing shortage, or at least like alleviate it to an extent. I mean, this obviously is not, that issue is not, it's not a matter of finding a silver bullet. It's about trade-offs, like anything else, like as Thomas Sowell has said. But that is a hell of a trade-off to make. I mean, if we're able to make housing like this for people that are having a hard time on the streets, or for people that just want affordable housing. Yeah, that's awesome. That's fantastic. This should be popularized. This should be celebrated. I mean, obviously not everyone's gonna want a 3D printed house, and you can't. I mean, I could not envision, like, even right now. Let's say, like, if you're living in a suburban, not a suburban neighborhood, but just in a even a neighborhood like this, right? Like, let me just show as an example so I can illustrate the idea. If you're living in, let's say, I mean, not even downtown Toronto. Like, let's see if we can get a residential area, like somewhere here, right? If you were to go about, first of all, if you were to have to renovate an entire house, you'd have to make sure it's not an attached home. And I mean, good luck with that. Just about every house I see here is attached, except a handful. Let me see if I can find one that's detached. I feel like this one here. Yeah. So imagine if you had to, like, if you wanted to just destroy that and rebuild using a 3D printer. That would be impossible, right? Because you'd have to set up the tent and the machine and everything. I mean, how close would you be able to get to the property line to where it would become a problem? So I don't know if this is like, if this would be a feasible solution unless you were able to buy an entire block off. Like, I know in some neighborhoods, what they do is they take an entire row of houses, right? For example, like, let's say these here, this entire street or half the street, right? They just cut it in half, and then they build this entire thing as like a condo unit building. They only make it about like maybe 5 or 6 floors, but I've seen a couple of these developments go up recently. So I guess, yeah, that would be really the only way to go about it if you want to 3D print houses in dense urban settings, is if you're able to take a bunch of them out all at once. In any case, got a little bit away from ourselves here, but yeah, this is incredible. So 3D printing does have legitimate applications. Like, this is not just something that hobbyists can do. This is something that has not potential, but I mean, essentially at this point, defined impacts on society. And, like, that's not even getting into how 3D printing has been used in the manufacturing of parts, right? Like, let's show me examples of 3D printing tech being used in manufacturing process for important projects. And the main benefit that I've seen just in my own experience is just the amount of time that it'll save you to be able to use this tech is amazing. I mean, instead of like having to buy a certain piece that you need around the house, or to finish a certain project, or having to order something, or hoping that it's still in stock, you're able to just manufacture it at home in whatever color, shape, size you want, within limitations, obviously. I mean, this isn't some Star Trek shit. You're not putting out food just yet. Okay, so back to the project. So Icons 3D printed communities. Let's first. Oh, in Tabasco, Mexico, sorry. Interesting. Tabasco. I didn't know they had a town in Tabasco. Is that where Tabasco's from? What is this lag? What are we doing? Oh. I think I know what's the problem. I forgot to enable hardware acceleration. 1 second. Oh, no. Yeah, no, it's working. Jesus. What the fuck is up with this website? There we go. Yeah. Can we scroll now? Thank you. Okay, so... Alright, well, now it's not letting us scroll for some reason. Very nice concept. Okay. Alright, well, yeah, this site is not letting us scroll for some reason. Moving forward. MX3D's Amsterdam Bridge. Oh. They printed a... You wouldn't print a bridge. You wouldn't download a bridge. Holy shit, is that real? What the fuck? No way. Why is this taking up so many of my system resources? What else do I have running? Sorry, bear with me, guys. I just need to check something. Huh, very strange. Okay, yeah, everything should be fine. So, they 3D printed this bridge? Out of metal, no less. That is, whoa. Whoa. Located in the red light district, that's... Of course it is. I mean, look, you want to get the most eyes on something in Amsterdam. I figured that's as good a place as I need to start. Wow, that is wild. I mean, if you could see this design. So for anyone that's just listening, it's called the MX3D bridge. MX3D is the company that has launched it. Let me see if I can just find their page. So 3D metal printing. Wow. Because I've seen this done in printers where like they somehow do it in a bed of sand. I don't know if they heat it with a laser or what. I have no idea how it works. I'll have to look it up. But in any case, interesting. So they have a bridge they designed. Okay, can we see some example? Oh, here we go. So here's the bridge. Is there a YouTube video for how they built this? Because I would love to see it. This is incredible. I mean, look, I understand. Okay, fine. A bridge is like simple tech. It's not like we've figured this shit out for centuries. But 3D printing a metal one? Wow. So, okay, it's been there since what? Since 2021. Okay. Can we... I'd love to see a YouTube video of this. Because I'm wondering, what does the filament even do? How does that work? Okay, well, that's the anniversary. Oh, well, of course, they don't have... Yeah, they're working on it in a shop. It's not a live 3D printer. I mean, this is just a visualization that they made of it, but this is not what actually happened. They did not just put robots out. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I don't know why I thought... I don't know why I thought that there would be a robot just live on the bridge building it. Because that would be such a fucking hassle. Okay, so is it like... Is it welding it? Is that basically what it is? It's just welding, and you have this constant stream of metal? Huh. I mean, it's the same concept. Once again, it's just all it does is it, like layer by layer, painstakingly, just taking its time, making sure there's no imperfections, making sure that everything is properly leveled out, and then over time, it's gonna... Oh, they're stress testing it. Over time, it's gonna build into something. Interesting. And obviously, yeah, they graphed it out to make sure that everything is optimal. There's no unnecessary stress. And here they are unloading it to a boat that's going to take it on the canal. Let's get this full screen here. Oh, there's the red light district. Wow. Incredible. That's fucking amazing. And it's metal too, so like it's not it's gonna stand the test of time so long as it's taken care of properly. Interesting. Wow. I'd never seen this before. I'm genuinely impressed. So we got 3D printed homes. We got that bridge. Administrative building. Oh, there's a... Looks like there's a building. been entirely 3D printed. World's largest 3D printed building completes in Dubai. 9.5 meters high, which I don't know what that is in freedom units, so you guys will have to figure that out. Floor area of 640 square meters. Well, okay, so the company claims it's the largest 3D printed building. And only one machine was used for the build. Wow. I'm wondering how the wiring works. I'm wondering if I would assume that they have to do it like layer by layer. So like at one point they put a pause in the process or whatever and then just put the wiring in. But I also don't know how wiring works in a house anyways, so I'm clueless. But it would be interesting to speak to someone that's actually working on this stuff because I mean, once again, how do you retrofit this stuff, right? Because as technology evolves, as we get better and better tools, and as these homes become retrofitted with all these various things, how do you go about solving that problem? I'll be curious to see. Oh, looks like there's a car that was printed in 2015 by a company called Strati. Is it plastic? I really hope not. Is it actually plastic? Yeah, out of ABS carbon fiber reinforced plastic. Okay. Well, I feel like this is more of a pet project. I don't think this would make it out on the road. I don't think that would even be road safe. I was hoping this was like a legit like 3D printed car that there was an actual use case of it. Well, it looks. I mean, look, still impressive. I'm not trying to minimize this at all. Like that's a hell of an undertaking to make a fucking car out of that. I mean, yeah, you would need a giant printer like this, and God knows how many pieces. Oh man, that must be such a bitch to take off the printer. Because for those that don't know, when the printer draws the base layer, right? You eventually have to take off the print off the actual bed where it's printing. And if your print has, minimal points of contact, that's not too much of a problem. It's easy peasy for the most part. But if your printer, however, like there's a big flat surface, that could be a pain in the ass. I mean, eventually the bed cools enough that it's not a problem, but yeah, still just looking at those parts, man. Yeah, they got giant scalpels. I mean, the one that I have is a fraction of that size. Because I'm also not dealing with huge prints, but in any case, yeah, okay, interesting. Looks like these guys are making custom parts and tools for Volkswagen. Das Auto. That's their slogan, right? Das Auto. Interesting. Yacht propellers. Okay. So there's quite a few people in manufacturing that are making pieces like this. Which, I mean, it makes sense. Oh yeah, Heineken is using it. Yeah, okay. So there's a bunch of companies that are using this tech already. Because you can 3D print just about any material. I mean, just about. I don't know what what 3D printed wood looks like on a industrial level. I don't know if the filaments get into much higher percentages, like 50-50 split, because I feel like that would be very difficult to push through. Like, I don't know what kind of heat you got to give the wood for that. But you can 3D print just about anything. GE's jet engine components, so they're going through 3D printed. Okay, interesting. Well, at least for prototypes. Yeah, prototypes for turbines and fuel nozzles. Over 1,000 3D printed components, including cabin fixtures and engine parts, cut weight, and fuel consumption. Oh, wow. So Airbus is also using it. That's cool. MTEL's patient monitor casting, 3D printed enclosures, integrated seamlessly with medical devices, accelerating validation and production. Looks like they use some kind of device for the monitors. Oh, yeah. Okay. Now, the natural concern that I had when I had started this is, you know, what happens to the leftover plastic? You know, what happens to all the failed projects? What happens with all the times that you put a printout and you're just not satisfied with how it went? Um, I don't know how it works on the uh, the industrial level, but personally, in terms of like recycling this plastic, I've actually had a rather hard time finding anyone that would be able to take it. I mean, there are a couple of services that you can use. List all known resources or places I can recycle 3D printed plastic. For instance, I know this one company that what they do is they send you a box in the mail. You fill the box with your 3D printed waste, and then you send it back. The only issue is it's a fairly costly service, which obviously understandable. Like you're dealing with processing people's garbage, and God knows if they even separate it properly. Um, but it looks like, yeah, there's still quite a few people doing. Okay, so Prusa's world map. Oh, interesting. Maybe I can find one near me. 3D printing waste recycling stations. Recycling. Let's see if we can find this map. No, I don't want these goods. I want the recycling map. World map. I think this is it. 3D print waste recycling. Oh, looks like there's actually two places here. One at Pacific Mall. Techncast. Interesting. Are they still operational? Oh, you're kidding. They're offline. Okay. So what's the other one in Toronto? Okay, looks like we got one here by the airport. Filaments.ca. Okay, let's see if they take any recycling. Page not found, of course. So, once again, having difficulty finding anybody that'll actually take it. Okay, so this map is not, well, at least for my city. I'm sure that if you live in, like, let's see, where do they have a lot? Oh, probably New York. New York's probably got a couple, right? Do they take plastic? No, this seems like a, I don't know what the fuck this is. Okay. In any case, yeah, I have not had the best of luck finding places to recycle this. Now, if you are the enterprising type of individual that has a lot of money, you can invest in like a crusher, I believe, which can help you recycle it. But you're talking about getting all that set up in your own house, and then like, are you also making the filament, or can you send it somewhere to make it? I don't even fucking know. But yeah, so that box company that I mentioned, it's called the TerraCycle Zero Waste Box. Let me see if I can pull it up here. It looks like, wow, okay, for a small box, 11 inches by 11 inches by 20 inches, it cost $177 for them to process it. Wow, okay. For a small box. That is not an insignificant amount of money. I mean, depending on how much you're printing. Let's see if we can find their 3D print box. And I believe also on top of that, they don't even take all sorts of filaments because there's multiple there's different types of filaments that you can use, as I mentioned earlier. So they don't take PLA. Okay, well that's a fucking problem. PLA is one of the more common filaments that people start with. Funnily enough, it is actually biodegradable, but it has to be processed the right way before it can degrade. Which honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like I could just set up my own like what kind of hazardous chemicals do I need to actually process PLA? But it looks like it says you have to use the separate boxes. So maybe, is there a box that takes the... Let's see. Please send us any printing tools using any of these materials. PTEG is one of the other common ones from what I've heard. So if you use that, it's actually harder and more durable than PLA. So that would probably be the go-to, is just switching over to that and then sending these boxes. Yeah, and this one also does not take PLA. So I think these boxes actually do the same thing. But in any case, printing materials made from PLA may be collected in a biodegradable plastic zero waste. Oh, okay, so they actually have they do have a box for that. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. And how big are these boxes? So I think I said 11 by... Right, PLA plates and bowls, PLA utensils. Okay, sure. Okay, but how... Can I see the dimensions of this fucking thing? Okay, so I'm just going to assume that their smallest one is based on these measurements here. Where is it? Small box. 11 inches by 11 by 20. Let me get the tape measure out just so I can actually see what this is about. So 20 inches. 20 inches by 11. That's pretty big. That's a lot of plastic, man. That is not a small amount of plastic to shake a stick at. If that is even the right word for me to say that. Okay, that's cool. What about 3Cycle? Do they take 3D printers? All right, so this is an initiative that's working out of Waterloo. They are still working on expanding to Toronto and other places, but they do have collections set up here. So look, point is, with all of this to say, is that there are places where you can go to get your stuff recycled. It's just you really have to look out for them, because this should not be thrown in the trash. The kind of plastics that you're working with, they are gonna take fucking centuries to decompose. Even the ones that are made of biodegradable plastic, and they should be disposed of correctly. Because man, it's bad enough we got fucking microplastics in in people's brains and guys' balls. Like we don't need more of that. All right, we need to chill the fuck out with that shit. But yeah, so I've been getting really into 3D printing. I highly recommend everyone do it, because honestly, you can find them for cheap. Like if I just go on eBay here, let me see if I can find a used 3D printer. Now, obviously, buying online or buying from strangers, there's an inherent risk, and whether it's used or not, and how damaged. Okay, sure. Find a reputable seller. Okay, let's see. Let's find a seller that's 5 stars. 5. Is there a selection for stars? Condition. Let's say open box. Buy it now. In Canadian prices, mind you. So this is worth at least half of what the American currency is, because our currency is a fucking joke. More filters. Are there no reviews? Shipping options, local pickup, seller. Here we go. Seller ID, eBay top rated sellers. Only show items for eBay top rated sellers. Apply. Perfect. So eBay top rated sellers. Even the most basic of 3D printers is going to cost you $200 Canadian, plus 30 shipping. For open box units, mind you. These are open box. If you want brand new, I mean, let's see what they got for brand new. $400. And this is for a Flash Forge, which I know fuck all about. From my understanding, the market is flooded with Chinese companies. The one that I have is Creality 3 Neo. Oh, sorry. Creality is the company, but the model is called Ender. Great little 3D printer. Cost me about, I think, 200 and change. But the guy that sold it to me, I was lucky enough that he had built a lot of different parts for it. That kind of helped him customize it. Like he could set up a webcam to watch the display while he's elsewhere, and you can actually also remotely stop the print if you have like a Raspberry Pi attached to it. For those who don't know, I'm not talking about the actual Pi. I mean the circuit board. This is like a little, I guess, like mini computer. That's the best way I can put it. Which can do all sorts of things. Highly recommend for anyone that's just like looking into, playing around with tech. Raspberry Pis are great, super cheap. and can do a lot. Like I think now they can even run AI models. There's been some people that have actually used the module that they have built specifically for AI to run models offline. Um, but in any case, back to the 3D printer. So it's a very simple one. Um, from what I've heard, it's a great uh, one to start with. You have your spool on top. You have a little bed. The building's like space is more than enough for for my needs. It only takes I think only three different types of filaments. I'm sure you can adjust it to take more, but I could not be bothered to fuck with that just yet. In any case, my point with all this is to say that this is not some like inaccessible hobby that you have to have an engineering degree to run. I mean, even if you buy one of these that comes like disassembled and not assembled properly, the amount of YouTube videos there are on this, the amount of instructions and photos and other videos that you can find that can help you set this stuff up, this this can only take so long once you actually like put your mind to it. And for anyone that's looking to just sink their time into something different and interesting and they want to actually build something, 3D printing is a great way to go. Like I have some ideas in terms of stuff that I'd like to build for the Whitepill project to sell as little trinkets. More to come on that in the future, so stay tuned. But yeah, it's one of the few things that you could do with it. I mean, there's a lot of people that are like 3D printing stuff on Etsy. I'm sure if I look it up, there's going to be quite a few stuff. And the 3D printed stuff, I mean, if we just look at like what does that actually look like? So 3D printed trinket. So they look like this basically. I mean, depending on the kind of material that you use, depending on here, let me see. Different 3D print filaments. Let's see if we can 3D print filament final comparison. Print trinkets. I'm looking for an image that would be able to show you a comparison between what different 3D printed objects would look like, but I'm not going to be able to find that. So you could build stuff that's, as simple as like a Squidward figurine or something like this, some kind of cartoon drawer or whatever the fuck that is, to something that's actually useful like a carabiner. Which, if you build it right and if you use the proper materials and you set up the print effectively, uh, could actually work. I mean, look, I wouldn't use this shit while I'm climbing. I would still stick with metal. But just for like, if you just need one, you just want to build one, by all means, it's there. Now, there's with all these different colors. At least most printers, when you're starting out, they're all single colored. So meaning like you have one spool and that's the color of what the thing is, that you're gonna make. You can, I'm sure, like manually like replace them mid print for the different colors. I I would imagine that would be a bitch. But this printer that I have, it's very good for like simple projects. Now Bamboo, the company, I believe they've just come out with a 3D printer in the last little while. Let me just Bamboo Lab. They came out with one. Where is it? 3D printers. Do. Is it the X1E? No, I think it's just the X1. Yeah, so here you'd load up 4 different types of filaments on top, which are also stored in a chamber that can monitor the humidity level, which is also important for filaments because depending on the humidity that it's stored at, it can also affect your how the quality of the print as it comes out. And yeah, they're basically from my understanding like the Apple of the printer world, 3D printer world, where everything is like a closed system. You have to use their software with their everything. I don't think they go as far as to like inspect filaments. I don't even know how you would go about that. But apparently there have been recent complaints from people in the industry where Bamboo has shut down using external software like open source software with their printers which a lot of people have been rightfully upset for, because like if I buy your machine, like who gives a shit what I'm gonna, what software I'm gonna use to operate it? I mean, even if they made the concern about like ghost guns, it's like, are you really gonna say that I can't 3D print like models of a gun or something that I would use to make a gun with from your own software? I mean, how do you even like account for that? I don't even know how they would. Um, Interesting, but yeah. So they make it, they dumb down the process essentially to the point where you have like a touch interface, which is cool. I mean, I would love to buy one of these um, once I could afford it, because I think they're quite expensive. I think they go for like $1,000 or something. Um, let's see, 3D printers. Oh yeah, yeah, 1149 US for the printer that we just saw there. Yeah, yeah, there it is. Fantastic piece of machinery, like, mind you, like, look at it. It's so simple, and the whole chamber is enclosed as well, so you're not dealing with like any, I don't know, debris or cold air, or like, I don't know, just anything that could fuck up the print. If you have like a pet, keeps it fully closed. And also, I would imagine that helps with the sound, because 3D printers can be, depending on the model you get, it can be quite loud. Thankfully, the one that I've got, I think it only goes to like 50 decibels or something, but yeah. In any case, this is a very extended sales pitch for 3D printing that I highly recommend everyone get, because they're the fucking shit. And I mean, yeah, look at some of the stuff that people are selling on Etsy. Let's see what the most expensive stuff is. Oh fuck! Is somebody 3D printing a fucking? Wait. Hold on. Is that hand painted or is that 3D painted? Oh, I think it's hand painted. Okay, so they hand painted an NFT. Okay, what does this have to do with 3D printing? That's retarded. Prosthetic arm. There you go. Someone 3D printed a prosthetic arm. For 70K? Jesus Christ. Is that how much prosthetics cost usually? Oh, look at that skin. Ew, you can give it skin. Which, I mean, yeah, it makes sense. You probably want some skin. Perfect working condition, was used only for about 2 months, and since then it's been staying in its case. Oh, this is a fucking hand-me-down? Oh, dude, who the fuck? Oh, wait, it's a working bionic arm. Whoa. Okay, I can see why it's 70K. This thing is like, it's actually like, oh, wow, okay. Huh. Interesting. Man, I don't know about you, but I would, if I had a prosthetic arm, I would not want the skin on. I would want the digits. I would want people to know. Don't fuck with me. I got a robot arm. 70K though. Wow, that's impressive. Okay, some of the shit straight up looks like money laundering, so I'm just gonna sort by most relevant. Okay, but look, like you can make little, stands for dried flowers or what have you. I mean, if I even look on Thingiverse, this is one of the websites that people use to find models to download. This is one of my favorites so far. You can make anything you want. You need some screws for your home to screw something in. You can make it out of plastic, as long as you're fine with a plastic screw. You can make little, trinkets for your desk. You need a little holder for all your batteries. A gun prop, mushroom lamp. You can make anything and everything. what are the most popular of all time? Oh, a headphone stand. I tried to print this the other day, failed halfway through. I just leveling the bed is one of the few things that I'm still, or not one of the few, but one of the things I'm still trying to master. It's harder than it looks. But yeah, if you want a little setup here with your camera and your phone, by all means, all 3D printed. You'll need some screws and some accessories here and there, sure, but here you have a tripod that you can set up for your phone. All 3D printed. Now it's plastic, mind you, not going to be as reliable as metal, but hey, if you're tight on a budget and you have a 3D printer, this is the way to go. Got a lamp, all sorts of stuff. Sander tool. Soap holder. Anything and everything. And also, it's one of my other favorite things about it, and I actually I got this through my conversations with Verticore's. We did an episode together a while back. Highly recommend everyone shoot her a follow. She's a builder in San Francisco who is working on making a network, a global network that anyone can tap into across, well, obviously, a global network that anyone can tap into across the globe. And people can make requests for certain parts that they need to build on this website. And then the builders, so anyone that has a 3D printer in their garage they're not using, or just one that they use from time to time, but they want to get paid for making this product. They could help fill that request so long as it's made with the specific material to the size and dimensions of that the person is asking for. And the whole point of this project is to essentially make use of things that are not being optimized. So it's optimizing for unspent resources. Because 3D printers, like, mind you, these things take hours to build the simplest of stuff. Like right now I have this this build right here. It's a little boat. This is like the classic print that people start test printing on because just the way that the print goes, it depending on the quality of this print, it will indicate to you certain things that you need to change about settings in your printer. For example, at the bottom layer here, you'll notice that there is some text. And if your 3D printer is set up properly, this will either look like a scrambled mess, or it will actually look like these letters. And then as you build a layer up, it goes layer by layer by layer. And there's certain like challenging things, for example, like building the overhang here, right? Making sure that everything is even, because not everything is straight. There's a part of the boat that ramps up a little bit. And so anyways, this is apparently one of the best places to start with first print, because it'll indicate exactly like what you need to change about I don't know, filament temperature, the alignment of the bed, what have you. In any case, so if you need a specific part printed, Vertic is working on this platform where people can actually get paid for doing just that. Like if you're a manufacturer of a certain part and you need a rush order, by all means, you can sign up on this platform and you'll be ready to go. Because it certainly beats being able to tap into a network like that instead of having to buy like a fucking warehouse full of these 3D printers that you have to all set up individually and making sure they're all printed. Like, why bother with that when you can just tap into this network and request for these parts to be built, right? And as somebody that owns a 3D printer, you could just tap into that network and make some money. So long as your print actually like lines up to specifications and passes all the the requirements for the person that makes the order, why not? So there's a lot that's going to be coming to 3D printing, and one of the things that Verda and I touched on in our conversation was that 3D printing allows you to have control over your environment in a way that, I mean, nothing else can. And not nothing else, but it's an extension of one of the ways that we can control our environment. Because like obviously there's something to be said about being a handyman and carving your own uh, wood, or just doing anything that requires you to learn a skill and do it manually instead of outsourcing it to someone or paying the cable guy or ordering the part instead when you can just make it, or cooking versus eating out. There is something to be said about that, and 3D printing is an extension of it, except now it makes it so much simpler because once you have the base understanding of how this technology works and how you need to adjust to account for certain irregularities in the build or what have you, I mean, that unlocks a whole world to you because now you understand structural engineering to an extent. Because if you're building something very complex and it needs to be load bearing, you're going to learn quick about what works and what doesn't. And so far, I haven't really had much experience with that. I hope to in the future. I'd like to make some interesting stuff. Um, but it's a great learning experience. I mean, look, I don't want to come off as an expert because I'm the furthest thing from it, but ever since I got this thing about a week ago, I have been completely engrossed in it. Um, I'm setting up prints to stay overnight, wake up in the morning, check on the levels and everything, adjust if I need to. I'm looking up all sorts of filaments. Like, there's so many different types of filaments out there. List all known 3D print filaments you can use at home. And that's not even to mention that, like, the filament printing, this is just one type of 3D printing. For example, there's also, we're going to just divulge a little bit. There's resin printing. Let's see if I can just get a time lapse. So resin printing, instead of 3D printing where it squeezes it out like a tube of toothpaste, this is essentially where you have a bed that is pulling out of a vat of resin, where the resin on the edges of the bed here, there's like some sort of, I think, a UV light or some kind of a laser that essentially zaps it into place to make it to make the next layer mold onto the one before it. And obviously there's all these supports that have to be made as a result, since you're literally printing upside down. But that is yet another process. It's a lot more. There's a lot more like fumes and toxic chemicals involved. So as a first-time printer, wouldn't I've heard that it's not recommended. I did want to get one, but then I also remembered that after you print all this resin, right, that part is not necessarily going to be smooth once it hits oxygen. So there's a lot of work that you would need to do to kind of rough it out and shape it out as you see fit, compared to a traditional filament 3D print, which you would obviously still have to process. But from what I've heard, it's a lot more intensive a process on the resin prints. But the resin prints allow you to get more, like, much, much, much more intricate detail from what you can see here. Like, this is fucking cool. This is just like stuff like rising from nothing. And like I said, this is done over hours. Hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Actually, I don't I don't think it's done over that many hours. I mean, I might be getting tricked by this, but if we just look at this clock here, right? We started at what is that? 9. So let's say 10. So that's 2 hours. 3. Oh, wow. It's probably going to be done in 10 hours. So it's a much quicker process. I would assume that's because the laser is able to capture an entire layer at once. Right? I mean, this has not been, I don't even think it's going to be 12. No, it's going to be 12 hours, roughly. So roughly 12 hours to make this happen. How much faster is resin printing compared to filament printing? Give an estimate. I guess that makes sense, that it would be much faster. Still, this is not something that's going to be made in an hour. At least not yet. I mean, maybe in the future, we'll have much better technology that can actually do this. Wow, yeah, okay, so that is a major difference. So for the same kind of similar task, I don't know what the actual the printer. Oh, I guess this is the comparison here. Okay, so this girl printed 2 different types of figurines. And took 2 to 4 hours on the resin printer and 5 to 14 on the filament. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, yeah. Because resin printers, yeah, it's ultra fine layers. 0.05 of a millimeter. Wow. Yeah, but once again, with resin printing, it says here they require washing and curing, which adds another 30 to 60 minutes. Yeah, whereas a filament printer is usually ready immediately. And there's so many, I mean, look, there's so many different filaments that you can print. PLA is the easiest to print and work with. Biodegradable. It's made from cornstarch, I think sugar stock as well. But this is good for like prototypes. There's ABS, which is, I'm not going to pronounce that. I'm going to butcher that. PETG, and there's engineering and high performance filaments, nylon, carbon fiber, wood filled, metal filled. And there's even glow in the dark. You can make all the glow in the dark shit you want. PVA, HIPS. Yeah, there's an endless amount of filaments. Endless amount of filaments. And like I said, this is super cheap. You got a couple $100 to drop on something new, something interesting. You know, you always wanted to just tinker, build around, like just build something, make something. Even if it's stupid shit. Even if you want to make something around the house or some stupid figurine that you like, or for cosplayers, it's perfect. For anyone that does that, playing adult dress up, if you're into that kind of stuff, 3D printing is the way to go. And they're out there. Let me see if I can find. Yeah, here's some more interesting stuff that you can make. Obviously, phone holders, spray can holders, anything and everything. Boxes to put all your shit in on the desk, so your shit isn't all disorganized. Chess sets. Oh, Pokemon chess set. Interesting. Yeah, so 3D printing, the biggest sell point for me was that it allows you to have that extra degree of being able to change the environment around you in a way that like I said, like nothing else can. I mean, it's as simple as this. Like once you have your 3D printer actually built, you choose your filament, and then at that point you just have to make sure that the bed is level, that you do some basic research on the kind of filament that you're using and how to properly set it up, run a couple test prints, you know, make sure that all the layers are, you know, working as they should. One thing I would recommend, I learned this the hard way. Get yourself a glue stick, either specifically made for 3D printing or just, you know, if you have a glue stick lying around, apparently just the, you know, the house brand stuff works too. Because you want to make sure that the first layers stick to the bed. Because that was one issue that I was running into, which caused a lot of fuckery towards the end. Let me actually just check on my current print. Give me 1 second. Beautiful. It's going well. So far I got the that boat that I showed you guys. Right now it's at the at this stage of the build. So it's still making out the foundation. But I'm excited to see it actually get built. Because once I have this thing set up, boy, you guys are not fucking ready for what I'm gonna make. No, I mean, jokes aside, I am actually excited. Because it would be great to make like a trinket of some sort. Like I've had an idea where where I want to build like a plastic white pill and put one of those NFC chips into it. Um, for those who don't know, NFC is like the technology that allows you to um, like tap to pay essentially. I think it's the same tech that's actually used in just about every Visa and debit card. Um, okay, I should have turned off the R1 reasoning for this because I do not need this much detail. Yeah, Apple Pay, Google Pay, yep. So all these systems use it. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so these things are hella small, very very tiny. You do not need a major one. I'm actually wondering. Pretty sure is it Alibaba? Wonder if I can NFC chip. Oh wow, these things are fucking cheap. That's awesome. Oh wait, are these like the actual? I think these are just labels. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, RFID. Oh, RFID, is that also the tech? In any case, I was looking to get one of these chips and put it into a 3D printed plastic pill and have it as like a little desktop trinket where you'd be able to go to every morning, you tap your phone, and it gives you a little white pill for the day. Whether it's a story or an idea or a line of wisdom or what have you, just something to kind of get you to think about for the day as you get started. I don't know, a little prayer to start the day, I guess. That's something that I'd like to work on. I don't know what it's going to look like or how long it's going to take, but now that I have a 3D printer, it's certainly a lot more possible than before. Because I saw a guy on Twitter that used I think it's clay. I think he used clay for it. Um, or maybe RFID. I forget the actual name of the guy. I wish I could find the project because he had. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it. He had made these handmade clay. So clay he had actually thrown. I think it's called throwing, right? They say throwing clay, right? Yeah, throwing. Um, so he had made this like little. I don't know if it was a vase or a rock or what have you, but he had made these little pieces, these handmade clay pieces, and he had stuck one of these RFID chips into it, and same kind of concept. I think he went for a different theme though. I think it had something to do with meditation or what have you. But yeah, it was a nice little trinket. It gave me the idea to have something of my own. So we'll see how it happens with that. But I'm excited. I'm excited because now we can actually build it. I've started bugging all my friends and family asking like what kind of shit they need printed. So that's also what 3D printing is gonna do to your life. You're gonna start looking for excuses to print shit, which is great, honestly. I mean, out of all the problems to have, an over exuberant spirit of engineering is not it's not the worst that you could have. Um, I'm actually wondering what are some of the more interesting implications or things that you can do. Interesting things you can do with an at-home 3D printer. Because besides, like, I mean, you can build like certain pieces for like cable organization or what have you, to kind of clean up your desk space, little organizers. Um, but I'm wondering what the actual implications of it are. Because I did see somebody like they had made a lamp that they had taken to a trade show, so you can have that, I guess. Faucet water saver. Oh, is this from like a shitty like fucking BuzzFeed type article? What's the faucet water saver? Oh, helps save water? Right, but how does it actually save water? Okay, but what? Oh, it helps you save water because it displaces the water in a different way. Instead of a jet, it makes a cyclone, so it covers more of your hands. Oh, that's smart. Oh, I'm adding that to the list. Hell yeah, I'm printing the hell out of that. I hate my shitty little faucet and the way that it runs. That's awesome. Okay, okay, I'm impressed. Brita fridge base. Oh, oh, interesting. Okay, so yeah, just like little things like that. You know, you got a problem in the house, loose something or something's out of place. 3D print a solution. Replacement parts. Oh yeah, it's fantastic for that. Like if you got one of those like old vacuums or just a piece that they don't make anymore, or like a piece that they charge out the ass for. Like oh my god, let me show you guys. Uh, Danby replacement oven knobs. So I took up bread making about a year and a half ago or so, and I had an incident where I had burnt the shit out of my oven because my dumbass thought that it would be amazing to turn on the broil function and just leave the oven working as I went back to my gaming because I was drunk and I didn't think about it and I just flipped the dial the wrong way, but I'd forgotten about that. And then I ended up eventually melting all my oven knobs off and charring the oven a good amount. I'm scrolling looking for the picture because I gotta fucking show this to you guys. This thing was, I mean, my god. When I had found it, oh, here it is. Found the photo. Now let me just make sure. Okay, don't need that. What the fuck? Why is it so complicated? Okay, this is retarded. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me for un momento. So check this out. I had I had burnt this thing to a crisp. Okay, these were melted. The bread obviously caught on fire, and the good chunk of the oven was charred black. So to get a replacement for these oven dials, I thought, oh well, you know that's not going to be a problem. Just a piece of plastic, right? How much could it possibly cost? How much? How much could it possibly cost? Well, I'll tell you how much it could cost. See, these are nice and all. This is for a gas range, so not the same piece that I would need. But let me just shop by category. Knob. Right, if we sort high to low, these things get as high as fucking $60. I'm pretty sure this is the one that I would need too, and it's not even available. $35 US for for a single fucking knob. With a photo of a guy wearing fucking what I can only assume is some hand-me-down off-brand fucking Adidas in a warehouse somewhere in Milwaukee or whatever the fuck this is. Man, what a bitch it was to find a fucking replacement. Even the one that I got, it didn't even work effectively. I had to like fucking MacGyver this shit and super glue a portion of it. The whole thing was such an ordeal. And the only reason I went through with it and I didn't ask my landlord is because, like, obviously I don't want them to know that I fucked. I almost burnt the fucking apartment down. Because once again, oh, do I? Oh, I already closed it. Damn, that's too bad. Yeah, the damage was thorough. Okay, so now I'm working on 3D printing a replacement because I could not be fucked to pay fucking jeez $30. $30 for a fucking knob and the part's not even available. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna 3D print it, and it's gonna be a bitch to design, but that's fine. And there will be failures, but that's fine. It's still gonna be cheaper. Because if you're wondering about the price for the filaments, I mean, if I could just look it up on, I'm sure eBay would have some for sure. PLA filament. Now you wouldn't want PLA for this. You want, I think it's PETG. Yeah, PETG filament. For a 12 pack, it's 180. Now, okay, mind you, this is all from eBay. You definitely want to know what kind of filament you're getting and where from, because you don't want to be stuck with some fucking Chinese shitty knockoff. But let me see if I can find the brand that I use. Oh yeah, here it is. Air One PTG. Now this stuff you can find on Amazon. It's cheaper by at least $10 to $20. Oh yeah, especially with that shipping rate. Jesus fucking Christ. In any case, this filament usually averages between $20 to $30 for a kilo, a roll like this. And if you actually plug in those numbers into your slicer, which is the program that you use to slice up the scans, it'll actually tell you how much filament it's going to end up using and what that cost would be. So here it's 55 cents. This little piece is going to cost me 55 cents to make. Right? Now, okay, who gives a shit? It's a little boat. You know, who fucking cares? Now, however, if I try one of these, so let's actually, I'm going to open this up as a separate session. I don't want to close my boat in case I need to make edits. So take something like this, right? This is a headphone stand. I got to scale the print, right? A headphone stand that also has a little room for your earbuds. All right, so let's slice that, and let's see how much the cost is going to come to. $2.50. $2.50 for a piece that you can customize and change however you see fit. Now, let's look into headphone stand. Actually, yeah, let's use Google Shopping. Yeah, for even something, I mean, look, IKEA sells one for $5, $10, $20, $20, $20, $20, $20, 20, 40, 30. Right? Why bother with that? Why bother? You can just make it yourself, and it's cheaper, less of a headache. There was also that one viral story. I don't know why people got mad over this. 3D print oven dial. Let me see if I can find that. I think it's gonna be under oven knob. Went viral a little while back. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, 11 million views. And look at these. These don't look half bad. I mean, I'm sure he did something to manufacture them, or maybe I think these are the originals, and then this one here, the one that he 3D printed. Yeah, that's the one that he actually made. Yeah, $34 from Bosch for a single fucking knob, and it cost him 12 cents to make. I mean, it's a no-brainer for anyone that wants to be handyman or just handy around the house. A 3D printer is an essential tool. I think it's gonna become as essential as having the fucking hammer and nails in your home. And boy, did the internet get mad. Yeah, like just everyone will find a reason to fucking complain. Yeah, in any case. A lot of use cases. A lot of use cases. And if you're not sold already, well, bro, they're cheap. They're cheap and you can resell them. So even if you regret it, you can always just resell it. There's always going to be somebody that's going to buy it. Let's see what else. Robotic hands, sure. Solar system model. Yeah, it's great for kids projects. Great, definitely great for kids. Because now you don't have to bother with trying to find, you know, some shitty pieces of Dollarama that you may or may not have. You can just make it. You can just make it at home. There's ornaments, obviously. Yeah, party decor, sure. But there was one interesting use case that I found. 3D printed lens. So this is actually a project that recently. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. There's a guy named Andy Kong. I saw his stuff recently. So they're making this in an MIT lab, mind you. Okay, so this is not. I don't know to what extent you'd be able to replicate something like this at home, but in any case, I have these lenses that they've 3D printed for eyeglasses, binoculars, what have you. I mean, if you need a lens, now apparently you can 3D print it. Now it's SLA, which means I'm pretty sure it means the resin print, right? Yes, yeah. So that would be a resin print. Jesus fuck. And yeah, as it comes out, it's obviously a little bit rough, so you have to work with it. But apparently, Saran wrap is what they've used to get it that clear shine, that luster. I mean, it almost looks like glass, which is incredible. Because I mean, imagine in the future or I don't know, not even in the future, even in the present, you need to get a replacement for your glasses and the lens that you need. I mean, it's too far fucking expensive and you can't afford it. But you do have a printer. And you do have all the resources, or at least you're able to order it. You're able to have someone do it for a fraction of the cost and for a fraction of the time. That's pretty fucking cool. That is pretty damn cool. You could also make lamps of your own head. Salad spinner. Oh. Is that a 3D printed salad spinner? Maybe. In any case, for just about any project or anything that you want to make, yeah, 3D printers allow you to achieve that to an extent. They're pretty fucking cool. And I'm never gonna stop shilling them. This is a 3D printer episode. Whoa, is that one of his prints? That is incredible. So this is one of the earlier iterations of when they were working on the lenses. They wanted to make sure that they could map the light. Wow. That is incredible. What's that lady? Who's that lady? I don't know what that is. I ain't clicking on that. That's cool. That is really fucking cool that you can do that. Yeah, cable organization, all that. Yeah. So it allows you just to, you know, for the fucking billionth time I'm saying this, but it allows you to just have that extension of control over your environment. It's cheap, simple to learn, plenty of YouTube tutorials, a great community, plenty of forums. Sometimes what people will do is they'll take a design and they'll remix it. Like in the classic example, this boat. Oh, there's no remix. What the fuck? Oh, I think because of copyright issues. Let's see, maybe there's some remixes of. Yeah. People take your design and they'll remix it in their own. You know, change certain things about it, size, shape, color, what have you. Beautiful. Beautiful. If you're looking to just do stuff, this is about the most just do stuffy thing that you can just do. Because, you know, I have no STEM background. I have no engineering background. Bro, I can't even rotate an apple in my head. Okay, I have a problem with that. All right. And even now, I'm able to set up a print and just let it go. Because once you have the basics down, you know, once you have all the fuck ups worked through, it just becomes really easy. Becomes a lot easier. And it does take a lot of trial and error naturally, but it's fun. It's a great little hobby to have. Like so far, I've made let's see if I can pull that up. Oh, I made so I made one of these. This is an LCD cover because the 3D printer that I have, the light is quite bright for the main screen. Let me see if I can Ender 3 Neo. So this LCD screen right here has no adjustment for the brightness. I don't even know if that's LCD or whatever the fuck that is, but there's no adjustment for the brightness. So at night, it's just blaring blue in my living room. So I found this little handy cover that you can put on it. I mean, yeah, like you could put like a tissue or a piece of paper or something, sure. But this cover like actually like has little divots, so it makes sure that it'll stay on the actual screen when you go to sleep. Hella useful. I've also made. Oh, I made this nice little cleaner. This is something that you can use to clean the build plate. Essentially, what would work is you have this base plate, and then you have the cover, which let me see if I can actually raise it. Can I move it? There we go. Oh, wait. No, I want to move. Okay, anyways, long story short, you have a little cloth here that wraps around, and then you put this on top of it, and then it creates a little tool that you can use to wipe your plate at the end of the day. So I made that. What else have I made? Oh, and I made this nice handy dandy little USB holder. So this is like it can hold all your USBs and micro SDs and whatnot, because 3D printers, at least the one that I have, doesn't connect directly to the computer. You need an external SD card that you use for it. So this is just good to hold all your little SD cards. So it solves a problem. Instead of having them lie around on my desk, I have them in one little neat place that I can access at any point. Very handy tool. And I remember the first time I ever saw one, I was painting houses in my first year in university. Which, holy shit, it's almost been I think it's been almost been a decade, I think. In any case, I remember I was painting this house, and I go in this kid's room because I had to get the windowsill in his room there, and I remember seeing a 3D printer, and this is in a very wealthy neighborhood, like almost mansion style house. Which, I mean, doesn't surprise me that his family could own a 3D printer even back then, like 10 years ago. I mean, what was the average price of a PLA 3D printer 10 years ago? Probably double. I'd imagine it's double than what it is today. I don't even know if there will be this information will be available. it looks like it's still trying to work through it. Jesus Christ, AI. How long does it take you to figure pricing out? I'm gonna see if I can ask the basic model and it'll tell me quicker. That's the one thing about the R1 model. It does a real deep dive of whatever it is that you're trying to find out. Holy shit. In 2015, consumer-grade 3D printers capable of printing with PLA filament were typically between 1,000 and 3,000. Oh my god. Jesus fucking Christ. I didn't think it was that expensive. Okay, well, no, that's just from an infographic. I want to actually see some data. Hold on. Household. Household PLA 3D printer. No way it was 1,000. Wow, okay, so it still was 1,000. That is incredible. What did the CES look like with 3D printing? Oh, food printer. Whoa, we're 3D printing food already? Wait. Hold on. Chef Jet. Holy shit. We're... Oh, wait. Instead of printing with PLA filament, this printer makes three-dimensional creations out of sugar in a number of flavors, including chocolate, vanilla, mint, sour apple, cherry, and watermelon. Wow. I didn't know that. I mean, it makes sense. It's just a different material. Chef Jet 3D printer. Okay, let me... I wonder what they look like today. I mean, is it still... Is it still a thing? I mean, the original post that we saw was in 2015. Right? And you can make like little sugar cubes. Okay, sure. I guess like for the very specific chef, you can buy it. Yeah, this is discontinued. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Damn. What else do they have? XYZ printing 3D food printer. Hold on. Instead of just doing this, list all prominent companies that sell 3D food printers. Let's see what the 3D food printing industry looks like. Because besides making stuff out of sugar and maybe chocolate, I don't know how effective this would be useful. Oh, the Foodini 3D printer. What? You put a fucking plate and it prints it. Huh. How much are these bad boys? Okay, wait, but what can it actually make though? Great for dietary restrictions, okay. Whether you're a busy parent, oh fuck right off. If you're so busy that you have to 3D print your food, what the fuck is wrong with you? Just pay for Uber Eats. Jesus Christ. You cannot... Okay, I understand that they're trying to sell this tech. I get that, but... No. Like, this is... No, that is not a selling point. Too busy so you have to 3D print your food? Fuck right off. Okay, but what can it actually make? Is there a video of this? Foodini 3D printer. Now I'm curious. 11... This is 11 years ago? Okay, hold on. Let's peep this. Oh. Oh, well, that makes... Okay. Interesting. Okay, so you can make anything. I mean, because I mean, look, at the end of the day, like, the tech is simple. You put shit into a tube and it gets squeezed out. The hard part is for the computer to actually calculate everything. And then it just takes time to print it out. Which, I mean, you know, you just clean the tool and you just put whatever you want in it. As long as the consistency is, you know, whatever it is that it has to be, then you can print just about anything. Okay. Interesting. That makes sense. I feel like these would be really good for, like, maybe pastries or something. Yeah. Eclairs, I feel like. No? Maybe not. Cubify, yeah, another 3D printer. So $5,000. $2,800. Another laser printer for $3,000. And it's just much more affordable at $3,000. Jesus fucking Christ. In 2015, the most affordable 3D SLA printer was $3,000, according to CNET, or at least at the show at CES. Wow. Incredible. So these things were $1,000. And I mean, look, even this one here, very small, very basic, very simple, $800 or something like this. And now a machine that is much more effective, I would argue, than something like this. Because, I mean, mine has a much bigger printing bed, and I don't know about the extruder, but that looks very low tech. Huh. It costs a fraction of that now. Wow, in a span of 10 years, it's gone down to $200 off of fucking eBay or Kijiji or what have you, Craigslist. Wow. That's amazing. But yeah, so I guess when I saw it in that kid's room, it must have been worth like $1,000 or something. Which explains it. I mean, the type of neighborhood that I was at, yeah, it was very like very very affluent. I'll say that much. Interesting. So what does the future of 3D printing look like? 3D printing applications look like? Because we've seen houses, right? We've seen all these different machine parts for, you know, automotive, transport, whatever have you, purposes. Well, what else could it make besides food? And food, I mean, look, you might as well just grab a piping bag at that point and just squeeze whatever the fuck it is you're trying to squeeze and do it manually. I feel like that's a waste of time and effort. Unless I guess you really want a specific design, which, I mean, unless you're a chef, I don't understand the need for that. I feel like that's something that white people get to brag to their friends. Multi-material and multi-axis printing. Oh, 5D, 6D. What the fuck is a 6-dimensional printer? Where did you get all those extra dimensions? What? What the fuck is a 6D printer? What the fuck is this? Okay, first of all, that quality is nothing short of... What the fuck? Okay, what I'm looking at for those listening is a 3D printer slowly making its way across a wall and printing using ink of a photo of a family. I guess that they wanted to have in their home. Or maybe this is an advertisement for a company. But wow, the detail and everything is... I mean, you might as well have just printed it on a canvas and posted the canvas. That is incredible. Okay, so 6D, but what makes it 6D? Why is it 6-dimensional? What the hell is 6D printing? Where did the extra dimensions come from? Let's see if R1 has anything for us on that front. $60 printing. And let's check on our print. Oh yeah, coming along nicely. Problem I'm facing right now is the base layers are still, they have a little bit of excess that I don't like. I need to figure out how to make it so that that's not a problem. So 6D printing. Okay. Combines the partially complexity of 5D with 4D's temporal adaptability, creating objects that self-adjust in post-printing. Example, a medical implant printed with curved layers, 5D, that reshapes in response to body heat, 4D. Well, okay, I don't even know what to make of that. Oh. Okay, the extra dimension is, from what I'm reading here, it's that extra dimension of adaptability. So it allows the material or whatever you're having to adapt to its environment, is what I'm getting here. Huh. How long before we can 3D print organs? I wonder if there's been any work in regards to that. Because that would be pretty fucking cool. Holy sh... I'm sorry, what? One source says that the 3D printed organ market is expected to reach $6.8 billion by 2030? What the fuck? The first 3D printed bladder transplant occurred in 1999? What the fuck is this shit? Okay, you know what? I need to write about this. I need to do a deep dive. That is 3D printed. What was it? Bladder? Bladder. Where does it say bladder? Holy shit, the first successful transplant of a 3D printed organ occurred in 1999 and has been functioning for over 2 decades. Okay, I need to find the sources. I need to find the source for this. This is, what the fuck? Locate all news sources relating to this story. I need to find this. This is incredible. If this is true, I mean, I would assume so, right? The news wouldn't lie to me. I wonder who that guy is. Ooh, I wonder if I could have him on the show. I wonder if I could interview him. Huh. Whoa. This has been happening since the early 2000s? Holy shit. Who is the person who got that 3D printed bladder? There's got to be a name. Come on, there's got to be a name. There's no way. Oh, unless it's medical records and they try to hide that shit. Yeah. That could very well be the case. Luke Masella. The first recipient was Luke Masella in 2004. Luke Masella. Okay. List any known contact info of Luke Masella. Oh, whoops. Luke Masella. Holy shit, is that him? Is he the guy? Is this Luke Masella? No, hold on. Listening to no Luke Masella. The man who received the 3D printed bladder. This just gave me a bunch of Luke Masellas. No, I need the Luke Masella. I really hope this doesn't just give me some random dude. I don't want to bother some rando. Has publicly shared some contact details through his professional platforms. Below is the verified information. Oh, okay, hold on. I'm not gonna dox myself. I'm gonna open that elsewhere. Wow. I think I found the guy. I think this is him. I think this is him. I need to reach out to him. I would love to speak to him. Cuz I mean, look, if this is true and I mean I don't have any reason to think that it's not a 3D printed organ. I mean, that blows my fucking mind. I did not think that we were already that far ahead. Jesus Christ, imagine what they can do now. Right, okay, that's 6D printing. Okay, what about organs? Okay, so that was in 1999. It remains functional. Okay. Looks like there was some organ models that are used for drug testing and disease modeling as precursors to full-scale organs. Interesting. Okay. I wonder what the implications of that come to, as I'm stupid when it comes to this shit. I'm wondering what the implications are for testing single organs versus like an entire body and how the organs interact, whether you kind of miss some details there as a result of that. But holy shit, they 3D printed an ear. 3D printed ear. I heard of this on South Park initially when they were like making fun of like I forget the character's name. Mr. Garrison. Yeah, Mr. Garrison wanted a sex change or something. And then one of the other kids wanted to be a dolphin. No, one of the kids' dads wanted to be a dolphin. And then at one point they went into a lab where they printed an ear on a rat. Wow, incredible. So they 3D printed an ear on the slate. Can I see the ear? What it actually looked like? Okay, well that's not going to show me. I think this photo. Where's that photo? Didn't I just have the photo up? Am I schizophrenic? I thought I just had the photo up. Damn. Also, malware bytes, what are you doing? Whoops. Apologies, bear with me for 1 second. Let me just get rid of those pesky notifications. Boop, boop, boop. 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 Beautiful. Okay. Huh. Incredible. I did not think that we were this far ahead. So apparently we're 20 to 30 years out from building complex organs like heart and lungs. But bro, 20 to 30 years out, by the time that I need one of them new lungs, new hearts, I'm not even gonna have to wait at a transplant. If I do end up needing one. Kidneys and livers are 10 to 20 years out. And what happens when we plug AI into this shit? What happens when we got warehouses just building and printing out organs? Dude, we're gonna have the black market is gonna fucking crash. I mean, eventually you're gonna have. I mean, I doubt like you're gonna be able to afford one, at least in my lifetime, to actually buy one of these printers, these processes, because I don't think it's as simple as just having a 3D printer like this. Wait, what is that a photo of? Whoa. Building a kidney. Holy shit. Yeah, I don't know what kind of tech it takes to 3D print an organ. I don't know if we're gonna have like setups like this in the near future where you just 3D print a heart. But this has massive implications. Wow, that's incredible. Every day you learn something new. Every fucking day. Incredible. Wow. By 2035, experts, quote unquote, predict bioprinted organs could address transplant. 2035. 2035. I mean, look, like, how sustainable are they? Like, are they gonna break down over time compared to an organ that's actually made by someone? Who knows? We're gonna be the first ones to find out. But man, I did not think that we would be able to get organs this fast. Wow, incredible. What else we got? What else do we got? AI and automation, obviously, yeah. AI is gonna rock the shit. I mean, imagine having an AI that's able to like assess the humidity, the density of a filament, and auto adjust the temperature so that all the layers are correct, and be able to like scrap a print if it's gone to shit and make adjustments in real time. Just for home, 3D printer kits, that's going to be amazing. But if you tune that up to the manufacturing process of all these specialized parts, that's just going to add an extra layer of functionality to that. Let me see here. 4D printing. So, okay, what is 4D printing? We jumped to 60. Let's see 4D. From my understanding from a little short explanation is 4D printing makes it so that immediately out of the box you have material that can contract and move. Something like this. So you 3D print out a little hexagon, then over time the flexible material is just kind of coming together. Okay. So the extra dimension is how the material works in its environment, essentially, is what I'm gathering. Oh, okay. So it's able to, yeah, it's able to adapt to its environment. Interesting. Okay, so that's 4D printing. Bioprinting companies that are advancing 3D printed tissues and patient-specific prosthetics with AI-driven surgical models reducing post-operative complications by 20%. Wow. Dentistry, yeah, that's a huge one. That's a major one. Being able to plant to print all these things. That's great because fucking dentists cost an arm and a leg, and being able to 3D print teeth is gonna make it a lot cheaper. I hope that they don't gatekeep this shit, because goddamn implants are fucking expensive. Aerospace and automotive, yep, obviously. Construction. Yeah, 3D printed homes. Where's the hold on. Icon 3D printing. Let's see what they're working on in the current landscape. Wow, okay, so is this a community that they want to build? That's interesting. Because those houses aren't exactly small either. And also notice that all of these homes, the other issue is, at least for the most part, they seem to be one level. Just because, you know, the machine has to, you know, there's a limit on the height that it can operate at. I would assume that would be the reason. Oh, but this one actually has a second level. Huh. I think these are also concept shots. I don't think these are actual completed homes. Wow. This would, okay, the reason that this is massive is like it might not be feasible or as feasible in like already well developed areas, but imagine putting stuff like this into the third world. Imagine having firms come there and be able to build homes. So that instead of, I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen images of Haiti, but Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, they are just made out of sheet metal. Like shit like this. Like what the fuck is that, man? That is not a home. That is awful. People live like this day in and day out. Like the just like literally like sheet metal, rusting sheet metal. Now look, mind you, Haiti, you know, had that earthquake, and I don't know what their seismic activity is like these days, but imagine like how many homes there are out there in the world right now that are barely holding it together, that are standing like this, just made of fucking twigs and rocks and whatever else the fuck they could find. Imagine that getting replaced with something like this. Maybe not as grand, maybe not as grandiose, right? Okay, fine, sure. But even something simple. What are these, Sunday homes? Hold on. Let's find a simple design. Because a lot of these are like very like highfalutin, like, you know, new age, like this kind of shit. Very like spacey kind of designs. But what about actual like functional housing? Yeah, something like this. That's as close as I can get to like a normal house from what I can see. Or even this. Little quarters. Right? Simple enough. Imagine if we could have that. Imagine if we could have this. Something like this. Instead of this. I mean, Jesus, like the amount of people that are living across the world in places like this that have dirt floors. How great would it be if they were replaced with something like this? That takes for 1/100th of the effort. You could build mansions in months. so that people actually have proper housing. Wow, that's incredible. That is incredible. I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see where this goes because it's gonna be a need. We're got a lot of people that need a lot of housing really quickly. So having stuff like this is ideal. Because man, like I don't know if you guys know, but here in Canada, let me see if I can find the temporary shelters that they've evicted or that have created for the homeless. Temporary shelters erected for homeless in maritime provinces. Let me see if I can find this because they basically took like fucking. I wouldn't even call it a storage unit. This thing is tiny as all hell. Let me see. No, not these temporary shelters. No, there was a different one. Yeah, these little fucking transitional housing units. Look at this. Burnside Industrial Park. Transitional housing. Look at these things, man. This thing's a fucking room. Not even. Can I see the inside of one of these? Can I see the inside? Yeah, look at this. It's enough for a bed, a little bit of storage, and a fridge. No kitchen, no nothing. And I understand this is like transitional housing for homeless, just making sure they don't freeze to death out in the winter. I get that. But if we could, like, the only reason this exists is because the homelessness issue, like, got so big that somebody had to step in and do something. And I don't even know what the incentives are for this kind of endeavor, because I do not trust that that the organizations or the people that are working on this issue, that they have the best interest of the people in mind, of the people being affected in mind. And I realize it's a cynical take to have, but I mean, Jesus Christ, Toronto has been dealing with homeless for God knows how fucking long, and the issue is only accelerated. And the millions and millions and millions that are spent on this, and the issue does not seem to be going away anytime soon. I'm skeptical of the approaches to these problems, to say the least. And so having like actual sheltering, so that it's not just like this. We have like a house, like a proper 3D printed house. Where's that example that I had before? Like a 3D printed house. I mean, compared to that fucking shack that you saw, come on. There's no comparison to be made. I'm not saying that we should give every homeless a house and then have that solve the homelessness issue. I'm just saying that as a stopgap measure, as not even a stopgap measure, but just as an initiative that could help increase the housing supply, 3D printing is something that we should seriously take into consideration, especially in Canada. Fantastic. So what else is happening with 3D printing? Mainstream adoption. Okay. Smart implants. 6D printed medical devices. What do those look like? What's a 6D printed medical device? The fuck is that? What is a 6D printed medical device? Okay, let's have a read. Cutting edge fusion of multi axis manufacturing and responsive material science. Devices that change shape, function, post implementation, implantation in response to physiological conditions like tissue growth or temperature shifts, using shape, memory, polymers, or metal alloys. So yeah, once again, how it responds to the environment. Smart orthopedic casts. Whoa. Have they already made one of these? Whoa. That is wild. Okay. Huh. Interesting. This is in fucking 2011. Okay, well, no, hold on. I don't even know what the fuck this is. What's the smart cast? So the need, what is the need? The need is that fractures represent a significant medical problem in the US, with approximately 6.8 million fractures coming to medical attention annually. Many complications can occur during the healing process, including compartment syndrome, ischemia, heat injury, pressure sores, and neurologic injury. What is compression syndrome? Is that like from feeling your hand be compressed all the time? Condition in which increased pressure within one of the body's compartments results in insufficient blood supply to tissue with that space. Okay. Yeah, obviously, cast wraps around your hand, so that could be a problem. Communicating pain and discomfort to physicians is a challenge, particularly for high-risk patients who cannot effectively communicate, such as those who are nonverbal, comatose young children, or have nerve damage. Cast Buddy is an integrated sleeve worn underneath the orthopedic cast during the healing process, which provides pressure and EMG data to clinicians in order to avoid complications due to cast immobilization. Okay. So it's a sensor. It's a cast with sensors. Okay, but the cast doesn't actually move. Okay, so that is not 3D printing. However, you can 3D print a cast, which, I mean, that makes sense. Whoa, this guy on Plebit got a 3D printed cast. And it's waterproof. Takes 3 days to make. And it comes in the mail on the 4th day. Okay, so they mark certain spots on your arm, scan your arm with an iPhone app, and take measurements to go along with it. You can actually see the faded expo marker marks on my arm under the cast and under my knuckles and thumb. Wow. Okay. And it allows your arm to actually fucking breathe. That's fucking awesome. Wow. That is really cool. Because, I mean, look, instead of eyeballing it or instead of hoping your doctor or nurse or whomever does that, the wrapping of it, you know, knows their shit, you're not relying on expertise, now you have a computer that can do it for you. And look, there's something to be said about the lost art of, well, anything that's automated away. Somebody that's able to wrap a cast by feel and all that, I understand that there's if we pass that off to 3D printing and we pass off that responsibility, then there's something that we lose in that. But also, like, I mean, if it's more effective through a 3D printer and it's cheaper and it's quicker, and it's more effective, then, I mean, this only makes sense. And also, it's not as if like wrapping a cast, I don't think that it's some kind of art form that you need to go to med school for a decade, you know. I feel like that's something that, at least in a bind, you can figure out in a survival scenario if you just have access to the internet or some kind of book. What I'm saying is that, like, this isn't like, it's not like we're replacing nuclear physicists with AI just yet. Anyways, you know, this is something that can still be done by people, and I don't think it takes that long to learn. I also don't know shit, so I could just be talking out my ass. But in any case, yeah, I don't really see any negative downstream consequences, but who the fuck knows? That's very cool. So there are 3D printed casts. And yeah, here's another example of that. I'm pretty sure it's the exact same company that does that. Very cool. Oh, another 3D printed cast. What's that company? Active Var. What? Active Var casts? Activator? Is it called Activator and I just spelled it retarded because I'm a retard? Hold on. Oh, Active Armor. Jesus, I am retarded. So this company called Active Armor makes these casts that are also waterproof. Huh, and you can become a provider. I wonder what the cost breakdown is comparatively. Wow. Very cool. I mean, the only shitty thing is now you can't have your friends sign it, you know, like you did with old casts, but, you know. Would you rather have that, or would you rather have a real kick-ass fucking cast? You can put stickers on it if you want, if you're feeling up for it. I'm wondering what is the price comparison? What is the price comparison? Include all relevant prices between a cast for a traditional. I think they're still made out of plaster, right? Traditional plaster cast, traditional manual cast, and an active armor 3D printed cast for the same break. No, wait. Break. I almost misspelled break. I spelled break right. Did I? I think. We're about to find out. I'm about to be humbled. In real time. By a fucking robot. I mean, I guess it depends on your insurance and whatnot as well. For traditional plaster cast, anywhere between 160 to 700 for application, depending on location, obviously, and the complexity of it. Wait, no. What is the price comparison, same break, in terms of the cost paid by the consumer without health insurance? Yeah, I think I was just looking up the cost totally of what it means for the actual buyer. But the thing is, once you have the 3D printer, or actually, wait, would you own the 3D printer, or do you have to make orders to the company? Because that would also change the price. Yeah, because I don't think they just fucking sell their tech off to anyone. Yeah, I don't think they just send you a 3D printer. I think you gotta send the scans to them. And they gotta make it, right? Traditional plaster casts. Jesus fucking Christ. For a broken arm or leg, between 2,500 to 6,000 in the US? Holy shit. Oh, emergency room visit if required. X-rays, follow-up care. Holy shit. You're looking at least, well, 1,000 if you didn't go to the ER, which, I mean, you're really only headed to the ER. Wow. Okay, so there's fewer follow-up visits with the 3D printed cast, which is how you save your money. Interesting. Yeah, I'm wondering what the breakdown is. I'm wondering if it's actually worth it. I mean, look, if you can afford it, obviously go for the 3D printed cast. That thing looks hella cool. I mean, this guy makes it look cringe, but looks hella cool. Why the fuck am I getting photos of this? Weird. Who the fuck is this guy? Interesting. Interesting. 3D printed casts. Bone repair. Scaffolds that expand or contract with pediatric patients' growth, avoiding repeat surgeries. How would you... Are you talking about printing tissue? Like what, you just cut someone open and you 3D print tissue? Okay, that's weird. I wonder how that would work. Bioprinted smart tissues, tissue scaffolding on sensors to monitoring heat or deliver drugs in real time. Experimental organs on chips with self-adjusting microfluidic channels for personalized cancer therapy testing. I don't know what the fuck any of those means. But does that mean you can just like put a chip on an organ and then it'll secrete whatever it has to secrete and self-adjust itself? Okay, that's kind of what I'm getting here. Interesting. Yeah, the challenge is here with the 3D printing. High setup expenses for robotic multi-axis systems and smart materials. Yeah. Yeah. And a complex regulatory process. As expected. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it's a look. On a microcosm, kind of same issue with the 3D printers at home. Obviously, not nearly as important as making sure that you have splints and all these various things built for your body. You know, I'm just printing boats and trinkets and all this, little retarded shit on my printer here. But it's kind of a similar issue. Like you have to set it up and really make sure the setup is correct. Otherwise, you're gonna have warps and whatnot. Because if I check on my print right now, yeah, there's some issues with the base layer, but once it got further along in the print, it was able to manage it no problem. But in any case, yeah, a little bit tweaking here and there, and then you're good to go. Looks like it's the same issue, the big one. And yeah, man, 3D printed organs. That is, wow. In our lifetime, we're going to see 3D printed organs. We're going to see a 3D printed organ market. I can't even wrap my head around that. I can't. I mean, what does that do to the black market? You know, what does that do to organ harvesting? I mean, I'm sure that's still going to become a thing, or still going to be a thing. I figure it's going to be a lot more accessible than having to wait days or weeks or however long it would take to actually 3D print the thing. And then also, once again, what are we talking about in terms of timelines? I mean, when does that organ fail? Is it likely to fail? Is it as likely to fail as an organ that is gotten from an actual person? Um, if you 3D print the organ, does that mean that you can 3D print a stronger heart? Can you 3D print bigger lungs? Um, can you somehow enhance the 3D printed thing that you're doing? And if you can, does that mean that we're gonna see bioengineering before we see cyber engineering? Like, I know that Cyberpunk has all these or at least the game, like there's all these different mods and whatnot that you can get yourself on your body. But if we just kind of skip that step of trying to build mechanical parts, are we gonna be able to bioengineer I mean, I don't know if I don't even know if you'd be able to replace entire muscle groups, because I mean, aren't you talking about how that intertwines with bone and joints? Like, I feel like that would be much more invasive. But something as simple as even that bladder, right? Could I the bladder that guy got made in 1999 or whatever the fuck? Could I get a bigger capacity bladder? Would it squish up against all my other organs? Like, if I wanted to just have the ability to just be able to have more piss without having the need to go as frequently, uh, would that be a function? You know? questions. I have all the questions. I have all the questions. But I need to interview that guy. That is actually incredible. That guy got a 3D printed bladder in the early 2000s. In the early 2000s. What the fuck do they have now? Can you 3D print eyes? I'm gonna ask it really stupidly and say eye organs, just so that the AI understands what I mean. Because that would be really fucking tough. Like, you're talking about like a functional eye, like it has to connect to the brain. While fully functional, transplantable human eyes remain a long-term goal. Significant progress has been made in printing structures like the corneas, retinas, and conjunctiva, and biocompatible materials and patient-derived cells. Okay, so eyes are still a long ways away because, as I said, I mean, as I said, pun intended, it has to connect to the brain. So, I I would not even know the first part. Like, how do you can you print nerve tissue? I mean, how good is that? How are you gonna make it so that both eyes are like seeing in the same, I don't know, resolution? I don't even know what word you would use for that. How do you make sure that your left eye sees green as green and your right eye sees green as green if your left eye is a transplant? How do you make it so that, like, how's depth perception affected? I have so many questions. Okay, so the NIH has used patient stem cells to bioprint the outer blood retina barrier, a critical structure for studying age-related macular degeneration. Printed tissues mimicked disease progression, including drusen deposits, whatever the fuck that is, and vascular abnormalities, enabling drug testing. This approach provides an unlimited supply of patient-derived retinal tissue for research and therapeutic development. Okay. So 3D printed prosthetics eyes can now offer faster production and improved anatomical accuracy compared to traditional methods. Okay, interesting. So Moorfields Eye Hospital. Apparently they are the pioneers. Let's see what kind of stuff they make. Wait, like the NHS? Like UK? Also, that's a I like that clock they have. It's in the shape of, wait, they couldn't get it fully in the shape of an eye. It's like half an, oh wait, never mind. It's like an eye looking out. Oh, I'm retarded. Let's see if they have any examples of this 3D printed eye. The world's first 3D printed eye in action. Let's give this a listen. Bear with me for 1 second. Oh, this is one of those news compilations thing. Okay, we don't have to fucking listen to that music. Okay, so this guy just has a prosthetic eye that the specialist there, Dr. What's his face, put his eye in. Okay. 3D printed eye is more realistic than traditional acrylic one. I mean, it's close. It's pretty close. The veins are a lot more red. And you can tell there's something off about the color. But, I mean, look, if you're passing by, you're not going to notice that as much as you are an eye patch or a hole in someone's face. Wow. That is pretty damn good. I mean, look, this beats the fucking... Where's that eyeball? You guys know the one I'm talking about. The one, the Pirates of the Caribbean. That fucking cork. The wooden eye. Oh, man, I love that character. What a great character. Did he actually have a prosthetic? I don't know how that worked. This fucking duo. Pintel and Rigetti. Legends. I wonder where they are now. This is a little side tangent. Who played him? Okay, but who's... Who actually played the guy? Can I get the IMDb? Rigetti. Mackenzie Crook. What has he been up to? TV series, video game, TV series, TV movie, miniseries. Nothing major, nothing I would have ever seen. He was in Game of Thrones. Good for him. I don't mean to sound patronizing. I'm happy for him. That's great. That was a funny character. Sorry, got a little sidetracked. Okay, so this guy's eye. Oh, and all it requires is a simple scan instead of an entire eye socket molding. Holy shit, which can be so difficult for children that they need to be put under general anesthetic. Well, yeah, I figure if someone's trying to put something in your fucking eye hole, you could reduce the overall process in half. Wait, do they just print? Because it's showing me here that they print like 10 at a time. Oh, and I guess this is... Is this the old process? Alright, let me play some audio from this.
I think it will be a game changer. I think there has been no advance in this field since the Second World War. Having major surgery to remove an eye, for example, is psychologically very challenging. And so being able to give a realistic looking prosthetic eye to the patient as quickly as possible, which moves as well as the other eye, I think is a big advantage.
Okay. They didn't even let that guy speak. That is very cool. So when was this? This was 3 years ago. The world's first 3D printed eye. Outstanding. Yeah, faster production, once again. You can make in whatever color you want, whatever shape you want, however many veins you want. You can customize it fully. You want it to glow in the dark? I bet you could ask for that. I bet you could fucking put a laser in that motherfucker. You know? Put a laser and charge it every now and then. Or, you could like, you could put like a little flashlight in one of those. And, didn't somebody, I swear I saw this post. Somebody put like a flashlight eyeball? Yeah, this guy right here. This fucking guy. He lost his eye to cancer, so he turned his head into a fucking flashlight. And look, if you're in the dark or whatever, like, that's hella useful. $20 as a flashlight. It doesn't get hot. Oh, if it's an LED, yeah. Safety is paramount. Okay. Wait, this is only half? What you're seeing is only half of his brightness? Wow. Reading in the dark? Yeah. Fucking doing anything in the dark. Oh my god. Okay, who is this guy? What's his name? Oh my god. All these stupid fucking memes. Does nobody have a name? Everybody fucking reply guying. Oh, gee. I appreciate the hustle, guys, but come the fuck on. Who is this guy? Wait, what's his... Does he have a TikTok? What's his username? Oh, it doesn't even have his username anywhere. No, I need to find this. Recent example of person who built a flashlight prosthetic eye. Maybe the R1 model can help us find him, because I gotta know who the fuck this guy is. This is incredible. And he says he has other ones that he's building, or that he's built. Okay, and if this is just one man, I mean, look, it doesn't look like he's walking around in a mansion. This just looks like an average fucking apartment. He said he had cancer, so I'd imagine that he's not particularly wealthy. I'm also assuming all this from a fucking 30-second video. Yes, where's this guy? Brian Stanley. Brian Stanley I. He's got to have a website. Is this it? No. Sorry, I don't want to donate. BS Machinist. Okay, let me open up his Instagram. Maybe... Whoa, that's fucking cyberpunk as shit, dude. Okay, wait, but does he not have a website? Hold on. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. Okay, can we... Okay, right. I understand these are videos, but... No, this is just a stock image. These aren't even the ones that he made. Holy shit, it's actually made out of metal. Wow. Okay, wait, but... Wait, how much does it weigh? Sorry, I'm just watching a video on the side. I don't want to dox myself. Interesting. Actually, fuck it. Yeah, I don't think my username is... Yeah, my username's not showing. Perfect. Look at this. Look at this guy. I mean, he's got like different shapes and colors. All these different stickers that he's put on them. All these different lights. Wow. Over the last 7 years. Okay, but does he have, like... Does he have a website where he develops this stuff? Can we, like, see some of that? Oh, it's resin printed. Wow. Okay, wait, no, this... I don't think the one that he's... Oh, yeah, titanium. Okay. Right. Okay, so yeah, the different process for both of them. BS Machinist. Man, all he has is a TikTok? That's fucking disappointing, bro. This guy needs a fuck... Oh, he's got a YouTube page. Oh, god fucking... This is somebody else's... Does he have a YouTube page? He does. Oh, all he has is shorts. God fucking damn it, why doesn't he post this shit? Not currently available for purchase. Well, it sure as hell will be soon. Patent bending. Wow. That is incredible. Wow, holy shit. I mean, look, I don't think anyone's going to be lining up to get their eyes scooped out just so they can put a fucking flashlight in, but to people that have prosthetics, like, this is cool. Because imagine if you could create an eye that, in all ways, right, like, looks like a regular human eye, except whenever you want, you know, by tapping the ring or however he activates it, you could just turn it on as a flashlight. Man, you could scare the shit out of some people doing that. Or just, you know, find it like really useful. And also, what is the percentage of people that don't have an eye? Or better yet, oh my god, if you're blind, you could really fuck with people. Or if you're just out on a walk in the dark, you could just turn it on so people see you. Although I don't know why you would be walking around in the dark as a blind person. Although that it's always dark for them, so it's not. Anyways, I'm gonna drop that. Wow, that is incredible. And once again, look, spirit of 3D printing. One fucking guy doing this, for for all we know, anyways. I mean, uh, he hasn't said that he works with a team or anything like that, but that is pretty fucking cool. And he does not look exuberantly wealthy. So if that's any indicator, this could be done by just like a cracked engineer. That's pretty fucking cool. Scalability. Okay. We're definitely far from being able to 3D print a brain, but this is very exciting. You know, as I started with 3D printing and as I go along with the hobby, I learn more and more each day that I never thought, I don't know, would be possible or just something to consider. But it is an exciting time to be alive and see this hobby flourish. Like I said, I'm not even a week into this shit and I am fully sold on it. Like, this is absolutely, and I've said it a million times and I'm gonna keep saying it and it's gonna be annoying as shit, but eventually you too will have a 3D printer because these things are fucking awesome. Like, you just get a little, you have to make a little thing, down a little design, do a little, tinkering with it to make sure it adapts to your bed that you have, in your 3D printer. Plug in the filament, fucking beep bop boop, and in a couple minutes, you get to see the thing that you're waiting for just kind of come to life in front of you. And you're like, you don't have to do anything. You get the design, you download it. There are millions of designs out there that are for free. Thingiverse is one of them. What's another one? Let me see if I can find the name. Printables. Printables is one of them. Tons of 3D different like models for various tools. For anything around the house. You want to make a little gift, little trinket, little tool. Anything. Visors, a storage wall, a modeling toy for drawing, wallets, lamps, a fucking whistle. Okay, this is one of the first prints that I did. Um, it is fucking loud. Like, I don't think you can get a whistle like this at like a general store. It is fucking loud. I don't know if mine goes over 118 decibels, but Jesus fucking Christ, it's very loud. Um, little broom handle thing, anything, man, anything. You want a little toy, you can make it. You want a fidget spinner, you can make it. Buy a couple bearings, couple screws, some metal parts, what have you. Bro, you want to fucking make a bat cat mask for your cat? You can make it. Look at that shit. Yeah, you can make it. All those replacement parts, all those just fucking things just nagging at you around the house. You download the design, you make sure that your bed is level, you have the filament ready, and then you just set it and you leave it. That's it. So long as everything is set up accordingly and you have an approximate idea of what you're doing, you just set it, you let it go. I mean, these things can go for like a week, I'm pretty sure. One guy that I heard, he 3D printed an entire Iron Man helmet and it took him 5 days. And they could just operate that like 24/7, just going. You know, you put them someplace in your house or what have you, where the noise doesn't bother you, where it's not, right beside your head as you're sleeping. You just let it go for a couple days. And next thing you know, it's done. It's incredible. I could not have imagined having something like this when I was a kid. I don't know how if my grandparents were alive today, I don't even know how I would explain this to them. It's fucking magic. I mean, and when you break it down, yeah, it's very simple. It's heated plastic, and there's a computer. Computer can go left, right, up, and down. Okay, it just heats the plastic, and you move the nozzle for a certain amount, and the layers have to be a certain thickness. Like, these are all calculations that are very simple for a computer to do. Sure, but I would not have dreamed this in my wildest dreams, that you could just buy this with not even a week's worth of wages. 200 something bucks. Filament cost you 20. And from then on, what you make is just the only limits are your imagination. It's incredible. This has been a 3D printing episode. And honestly, you know what? Coming in my live streams, I think I'm gonna set up. I'm gonna try to see if I can set up a webcam so that you guys can see the 3D print happen in real time. I think that would be a fun little addition to the live streams. Would be cool. Would be cool. In any case, I think I'm done with my sales pitch. If you've made it this far, thanks for listening. I appreciate each and every one of you. Like I said, moving forward, all updates are going to be posted um, to the Discord, the link for which you can find at bio.link/whitepill. That's the last link right there. That'll say Discord. If you don't have Discord, download it. It's free. If you don't know what it is, it's like Skype, but much more cool and less encumbering on your system. So it's actually lightweight and it's actually useful. It's great for like setting up chat rooms or groups that you have for your classes if everybody doesn't share a single social media. Also great to just like call and video call people in. I do all my streams through it for the most part. That's how I record my guests. So yeah, join up on Discord. There's also an email list you can subscribe to here, but whichever format you pay attention to here, by all means, have at it. So yeah, thanks again for tuning in. I don't know when I'll be doing my interviews next, but stay tuned for next Wednesday when I'll have another episode of these out. And yeah, thank you guys for listening, and have yourself a lovely day.